Welcome back to Celebrity Radio. It's Alex Belfield talking to some of the world's biggest stars and some of my favourite people. And a man I saw on Broadway just a few weeks ago is Adam Jacobs. He's got a brand new album out called Right Where I Belong, the songs of Alan Menken, and he's the star of Aladdin on Broadway, and a phenomenal one too. Adam, how you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Do you know, it's really lovely to talk to you. There are so few people who impress me anymore, especially in musical theatre. It's a sea of sort of bland, but you stick out. You were born to do this, weren't you?
Thank you. Yes. I've been working on this show for a long time, and I've been studying musical theatre ever since I was a kid. And I went to NYU where I studied musical theater and voice and acting and singing and everything. So it was definitely something from an early age that I decided I had a calling towards, and I worked on it, and luckily I made it all the way to Broadway. Not very many actors can say they've done that, so I feel very fortunate.
And when you say you made it to Broadway, The Lion King, Les Miserables, you've done so many of the big shows. And when we look at Aladdin, I mean, it really is your show. There's you and James who steal it and are arguably better than the show. It's an incredible performance. How exhausted are you at the end of it?
I do burn a few calories doing the show. I am running around, jumping off of buildings and on trampolines and evading capture. And but it's so much fun. I never get sick of the show. Whenever we have an audience, they provide such a fresh new energy because it's a new audience every night. Also, whenever the understudies go on, they have different jokes and different shtick that they provide when they go on. So it's really a unique show in that way, and it keeps it very fresh for me.
And again, you're in a beautiful home of the new Amsterdam Theatre, which in itself is brand new. Disney put millions of dollars into making it beautiful. And so is the show. They didn't spare any expense with this. It is a Broadway spectacular.
Yes, they did. Bob Crowley designed the sets, and Disney renovated the theater back in the 90s, and they did a beautiful job. It's one of my favorite theaters on Broadway. It's over 100 years old, and we had the Follies girls there back in the day, and so much history in that theater. So I'm very happy to call that place my home. And whenever I walk onto that stage, I feel like it's sort of like my temple and my church, and it's like a sacred space where energy is being transferred, and it's really remarkable.
I think the greatest compliment I can pay you is that you make it look effortless, as all the great stars do.
Well, thank you.
Your voice, if I were to sing like a Broadway star, would be yours. You're the epitome of a West End Broadway singer, aren't you? Can you be taught that, or is that something you've been blessed with from birth?
I'm not sure. I mean, I studied voice. I think I've always had a musical ear. I studied piano. My parents put me in piano at a very early age, so I think that sort of helped my musical development. And then, I was singing in choirs, and I would sing with a small song and dance troupe with my sister all around San Francisco, where I grew up, and called Razzle Dazzle Kids, and we'd go sing at weddings and hotels and things like that. So I've always been singing, and now to have put out my first debut solo album is a big accomplishment for me. Because it's something I've always wanted to do, and I feel very lucky that I've been put in a position where I can.
And I guess if you're the star of a Disney musical, you become a star in your own right because it's so big, it's on another level, it's international. The show's coming here to London later on in 2016. And you've chosen a great man to sing the songs of. Alan Menken truly is a genius, isn't he, musically?
He is. His music is touched so many people in so many different ways, and it's inspired me from a very early age. And when I thought about doing an album, I didn't know what it was going to be, honestly. And then having worked with him in Aladdin, it just sort of clicked. I said, of course, his music is so powerful in the storytelling and everything that he does. So all of the songs on the album carry that power, and I'm just honored to be able to do it and to sing his work.
And it's interesting, my favourite track on the album probably is Suddenly Seymour, which you do with your sister. That kind of chemistry you can't create. It's either there or it isn't. And your voices do blend beautifully. I guess that's what knowing each other your entire lives is all about.
Yeah, you could say that, sure. We've having sung together for many, many years, and coming from the same gene pool, that has something to do with it as well.
You talk about the gene pool and talent. It's almost sickening when we look at you and your family. I'm a deeply unattractive man, Adam. What's it like being you? Because I notice on the message boards that girls and some of the boys even find you, well, a nice bit of trouser, don't they?
It happens that I've done 3 consecutive shows where I haven't had to wear a shirt. I did Mamma Mia national tour. I played Sky in Mamma Mia, and then I played Simba in The Lion King, and now I'm playing Aladdin, all very shirtless roles. And it's just, it sort of goes with the territory, I suppose, that you inevitably gather a certain kind of fans. And what I love my fans, they're super supportive, and they're really the Disney fans especially are mega super fans. We have people who come to see the show who are really looking at it with a critical eye and hoping that we are going to meet the standard of the movies. And that's with all the Disney shows. Whenever one goes up, you have the fans who come and they really are hoping that it's going to be good, if not better, than the classics. And so it's a big responsibility in that way, and there's a lot of pressure to play an iconic role like that. And I feel lucky that Disney trusted me with their property in that sense.
How much work goes into looking like you do? I mean, it's Christmas time. You can't be eating too much turkey and stuffing, can you?
In the other room right now, there's my family are stuffing themselves with like Christmas ham and stuff. But I tend to eat. I try not to stuff myself. There's no pizza. I'm staying away from pizza and beer, unfortunately. But I'm lucky I run around. I don't have to worry about too much about it because I can burn off a lot of it. But and I don't have to go to a gym to run on a treadmill necessarily because I have a built-in treadmill in my show, basically, with all the running that I'm doing. So I just have to tone. I got like a little built-in gym in my dressing room with cables and bands and weights and things like that. And that's really all that I need to do is then, add some push-ups and sit-ups and you're golden.
Yeah, let me try it. Let's see if I can look like you by next Christmas, and let's compare notes and see how that's going, Adam.
You could do it.
I'll just look like your fatter older brother. I think that's all it'll be.
I'm essentially doing parkour, so if you could do that, then just go jump off some park benches and you're good.
I want to talk to you very finally about what kind of compliment it is when the phone rings and Disney said, we're going to launch this brand new musical called Aladdin, and you're going to be the star. I guess it doesn't get any bigger, does it?
It doesn't get better than that. I mean, to play an iconic role, a role that everybody loves, and a role that I've loved since I was a kid. I mean, I watched this movie growing up, dozens on the VHS. I watched it over and over, and it was my favorite one. That one and The Lion King, and the fact that I got to play Simba and now Aladdin. Both these roles, there's just such a power in them, and such. I attach a lot of meaning to them in my personal life. So I feel very lucky to be portraying these characters. Had someone who told me when I was that age that I'd be playing them now, I would have said, yeah, you're crazy. You're falling off your rocker.
A total dream. And when we look at Mamma Mia, I mean, it's a nice vanity role to look good, but there's not much meat to it. Going from that to the... It's true, isn't it? Let's face it, it's a load of nonsense, that show. And then you go into The Lion King, which is still probably one of the greatest musicals ever, from my opinion. It's so beautiful and magical and still looks contemporary today. And then to this, I suppose it's a good trajectory in the way, because you couldn't just walk into Aladdin and do it. You need to have stood on the stage for a long while to have the confidence to pull it off.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true. And it's interesting if you watch the show and when you saw it, the genie breaks the fourth wall up quite a bit, and he has a lot of artistic freedom in that way. And what I have to do as an actor is sort of toe the line between being in the show and letting the audience know that I'm on it. That it's sort of like being in the show and being a part of the show, if that makes sense. There's little things that I do that let the audience in, so that I'm sort of the go-between between the genie and the audience. And, so when the genie does something crazy, I can give a take to the audience and be like, what is this guy doing? and the audience sort of loves that, being part of that. And whenever something new and improvised happens, of course, that and then sometimes they'll call me the Rock because I tend to laugh at a lot of the things that he does. Give them quite the opposite of the Rock, essentially. I will laugh on stage, and and it just makes it fun, and it makes the audience feel like they're witnessing something special every time.
It's a beautiful show. Aladdin is on in the West End from, I think, June 2016. It runs now on Broadway, and your new album is available. It's The Songs of Alan Menken by Adam Jacobs. I hope you know how extraordinary you are and you're living every moment, because it's so rare somebody's as good as you, and to pull it off with such confidence and precision.
Oh, well, thank you very much. That's awfully sweet. I appreciate it.
Huge talent. Go and see him. Adam Jacobs is running at the new Amsterdam Theatre in Aladdin, playing Aladdin. His new album's out now. It's called Right Where I Belong. Adam Jacobs, great to talk to you.
Nice to talk to you. Thank you.